Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab-proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
You're listening to the Telltale Channel. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon.
Having been part of this movement, I know that these people will stop at nothing to fulfill their purposes. They believe that God is on their side, and they crave power in ways that most people would never even dream of. We have to fight. We have to fight at the polls.
Yeah, it's horrifying. I mean, people don't fully realize what these nutcases can and intend to do. They don't realize. And if they did, nobody would have ever voted for Donald Trump. I mean, I think people are starting to realize now. They're starting to see what Donald Trump had planned, some at the very least. But, you know, in Germany, people believed that they could control Hitler, and that's why they did what they did. That's why they supported him. Von Papen was the leader ahead of Hitler, like before him, and he believed he could control Hitler. You can't control fascists, okay? You can't. You cannot control fascists. It's fraught, it's a lost cause, and it'll lead to your destruction. And now Tucker Carlson is warning people, hey, Donald Trump is trying to Nazify the country and erase free speech. Yeah, dumbass. I've been calling that since it started. You knew that this whole time. You knew that. You just chose not to care because you believed you could control him. Like the dummy that you are. You believed you could control him. Just like they believed that about Hitler. And here we are. All of the people that supported Donald Trump, like the ones that are in positions of power, Mitch McConnell, for example, believed they could control Trump. And that is why they allowed all of this to continue. Mitch McConnell knew damn well what the Nazis can do and what they did and how they rose to power. He knew damn well how that worked. The speaker or the House Majority Leader, or I'm sorry, the Senate Majority Leader, whatever it was, Mitch McConnell, he knew. All of these people knew damn well what they had to look forward to with Donald Trump and how this shit played out with Hitler. They knew. And not just Hitler, you know? That example's too extreme. Let's go with some more obvious contemporary ones. Erdogan in Turkey, Putin in Russia, Orban in Hungary. These people, these senators, knew full well exactly what was happening and just believed, like the fucking morons that they are, like the dumb motherfuckers that they are, that they could control Donald Trump. Exactly like everybody thought they could control the other dictators throughout history. Well, look where we are now. You dumb Tucker. You really did not see this coming? Really? I mean, that speaks to your intelligence, that you were that fucking blind, right? How the fuck did that happen? How were you so goddamn fucking blind? How are you effectively a member of the Nazi Party and so fucking blind to how Hitler took power? What? Seriously, I don't understand how these people are so goddamn fucking stupid. How are you such a sucker? He said that? Yes, he did. He said that. Absolutely. Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are also in opposition to what Donald Trump is saying and doing right now on free speech. You dumb bitches. Really? You didn't see that coming. And you expect me to have like any appreciation at all for your intellect or whatever. It just blows me away how goddamn fucking stupid. How is it that everybody throughout history sees the same shit, the same fucking thing playing out identically? And they're like, it'll be different this time. I can control it this time. I can do this. I can make it happen this time. Are you the stupidest human beings on planet Earth? Let me actually, since I brought that up, let me just... Yeah, I believe that this is the video right here.
You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country.
You dumb I'm sorry, I don't like insulting people, but at this moment in time, I feel like this is an honest analysis of the situation. You dumb son of really? Are you the stupidest motherfucker alive to say such a thing at this moment in time?
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Just a reminder, I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out my Patreon. If you're not going to donate, you don't have to, but follow me there at the very least. OwenMorgan.com/Patreon. Just in case something happens with the government or whatever. It would be really good if you had some way to connect with me and my content. I'm really concerned about that. And maybe you should consider that for other creators too.
And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think.
Tucker, I've been telling you this. We, as a movement, the Democrats, everybody, has been screaming this since 2016. And if that doesn't grab you, we've been screaming it since he started to run for president in 2023 or whenever it was. You got gummy bears in your ears? Why the f*** didn't you hear literally a single human being warning you about this? He knew this was coming. He knew it. He believed he could control it. Just like they believed they could control Hitler before his rise to power. Just like they believed they could control Orban in Hungary or whoever. They believed they could control it like the dumb motherfuckers that they are. And Tucker is now like, oh shit, I'm not sure I can. Yeah. Everybody fucking knew that, except for your dumb ass. Everybody knew that you wouldn't be able to. You thought they couldn't fire you from Fox News, Tucker? Like, have you literally ever read a history book in your entire fucking life? I mean, a history book, not a propaganda book by Holocaust denier David Irving. A history book, not one that will validate your belief that the Nazi Party was right and just. Tucker, I say this in all sincerity and with no hate in my heart. You are dumb as dog shit. Now that, I mean, there is no if, ands, or buts about it. Coming out the other side of what we're seeing right now and listening to you speak these words, you're just dumb as dog shit.
There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human.
No shit. It literally took hate speech laws for you to get that.
They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views. You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death...
It's repeated. Anyway, these people, dude, that's all I can say. These people. There's no more to that sentence. These people. Tell me what you think in the comments. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Remember this guy, Forgiato Blow? He made a new song that is absolutely horrifying. Listen to this.
Short piece of rope, hang them up high at sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I'm sure you probably are, but in the 60s and the 50s and long before that, lynching was really, really popular. Lynching black people, just finding the person in the town that was black and hanging them from a tree. It was primarily done by the KKK, and it happened a lot in what they called sundown towns, which I lived in Milton, West Virginia. And the idea is, at sundown, you grab the people that shouldn't be there, and you hang them from a tree and leave them swinging as a message to other black people in the area. Now, this song, I believe, is a reaction to the Ukrainian girl who died recently. It was a mentally ill black person that did it. And it released the day after 2 black people were publicly lynched and left hanging from trees.
A short piece of rope, hang them up high at sundown, leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, but if you do, bitch, won't hang you in a fucking field.
You shall not steal, you shall not kill, but if you do kill, then I'm going to kill you. I mean, is he not seeing the hypocrisy here? Only God can judge. We need a legal system on Earth to sort out criminals and everything else, but he's not talking about a legal system. He's talking about vigilante justice. He's talking about straight up murder with no trial or anything. He's just talking about killing black people. Our country is so divided right now. I don't know how we come back from this. That's not fair. I do know how we come back from this. New Nuremberg trials is how we come back from it. I read about World War II and how they handled denazification at the time. And the answer is with an iron fist. There were people like this in Germany after World War II, and they charged them in Spruikhammer courts is actually what it was. I mean, Nuremberg trials was for like the arch criminals, but Spruikhammer courts charged everybody from nominal party members to concentration camp guards. We need Spruikhammer courts. There is no more reasoning with somebody that says that they want to hang black people from trees and tries to get it to number 1. This is on YouTube, and his pinned comment says, "Let's get the truth to number 1." That's his pinned comment. We need Spruikhammer courts. We need to charge these people with criminal incitement. There is no more reasoning with people like this. We can't reason our way out of this situation anymore. Now it's time for criminal charges. And at this moment in time, that's not going to happen right now. But Donald Trump is like 80. And God willing, he dies a peaceful death in his bed with family members, hopefully adult family members, at a ripe old age of 103. Hopefully that's how it goes. But when he's gone, nobody's going to be able to control the party anymore, not like Trump. And the Republican Party is f***ed. Pam Bondi is f***ed. Elon Musk is f***ed. These people are f***ed. We need to push for new Nuremberg trials, for new Spruikhammer courts, for the people involved in this, for the people who brought us to where we are. This is beyond unacceptable. And if you want to know what I think you should be doing right now, I have 2 answers. Resist in any way you possibly can. If you can't resist, if surviving is all you can do, then consider that resistance. Number 2, keep a journal. Contemporaneous accounts from the era in World War II Germany were eternally useful to prosecutors, and to historians trying to understand what happened. Record everything.
We don't judge by skin, we judge by soul. So God can judge your sin, but bitch, you gotta go. Austin Metcalf lost his life at a track meet. The news won't say it, so I say it on a trap beat.
I get he's talking about the people who died. You're literally talking about killing people right now. These were tragic accidents that everybody can agree are bad. You are talking about killing Democrats, okay? Killing the left, killing black people right now, indiscriminately. You're saying we're going to hang them from trees. This dude is too far gone. How old is he? 35, maybe? 40? I don't know. You probably have 40 more years in this country, Forgiato. You have 40 more years. How many years does Trump have? Keep contemporaneous records.
And while they running from accountability, Laken Riley was murdered while she was running in the streets. Who would have thought the girl who left the danger in Ukraine would get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's repping Black Lives Matter?
The thing is, you're using the N-word here in a derogatory way. He's not using it the way that, black people use it when referring to each other. He's using it like the actual N-word. With a hard R, whether he used the hard R or not, he's using it like that. I just want everybody to understand, what he just did. Don't let him get away with this.
But you triggered by this song, tell me which is sadder. Big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high and sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high and sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Oh, that's too much.
Dude, what is it like to have that much hate in your heart? What's that like? Hate to this degree changes the way you look almost. Look at Stu Peters. He is a Nazi. He talks about this kind of thing all the time. If you don't know him, it's because people haven't been covering him very much because they don't want to give him airtime or whatever, because he's a full-blown Nazi that advocates for this. I just did a video on my Unfiltered channel where Stu Peters advocates for this. Here, this is a great example. Look at just the anger in his face. It's always like this. I don't know that I've ever seen the guy laugh before, come to think of it.
This country doesn't have a racism problem. We don't have a gun problem. We don't have a poverty problem that's causing mass violence. What we have here is a black problem. We have a problem with black crime. This is a group of people.
People, in air quotes, I guess. The point is that there's such a ridiculous divide. I don't believe that there's any fixing it beyond Spruikhammer courts. And we can't make that work unless we have contemporaneous records. The more, the better. Keep a journal of what is happening right now.
Crime in the streets these days. Too much evil going down. If they get 'em up out of the bricks for a while, the judge turns them loose on the town.
So he's drawing up this fictional scenario where judges release black people from jail just because they want to wreak havoc because they're leftists. I don't know what you think is happening. This is completely fabricated. The cash bail system is a problem. Our legal system, our bail system, there are a ton of critiques to be had here, a ton. The answer is not lynching black people. I can't believe I have to say that. The answer is trying to reform our bail system. These people control every branch of government right now, every branch. You're telling me the only solution that you could come up with is lynching black people? Instead of maybe advocating for some very specific policy change, you've decided this is the solution?
How many mothers gotta cry? How many children gotta die before we put an end to all this mess? We ought to do it like they did it way back in the day, 'cause granddaddy's way it works best.
That is a clear, unambiguous reference to lynching black people by the KKK. Granddaddy's way works best. Lynch black people.
Who's gonna right them wrongs, my friend?
The government can right wrongs to the best of their ability, but if you're complaining that they're not, then blame the Trump administration, not black people as a whole.
The sin. We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
And if you notice, he keeps like flashing images of dogs. This is another thing they used to do. They used to set dogs on black people like this to chase them down and then hang them. The song's name is Good versus Evil. I don't know how we got here, man. I don't know how we got here.
Tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
That's the song. And even more horrifyingly, we have Brian Kilmeade recently saying that he wants to involuntarily murder homeless people. He said involuntary lethal injection. Listen to this.
Health crisis is happening.
exactly.
But it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear while they figure out what's going on right there.
Right.
Put them in a mental institution, put them in a jail, and you guys figure it out. But people having to duck and dive on the trains and the buses, walking through the street.
They're talking about the same issue that Forgiato Blow was talking about. Somebody died on a train.
This is one case, but this is happening all across the country, and it's not a money issue. They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail.
Okay, so what he just proposed was removing somebody's bodily autonomy who isn't a criminal. If you're not going to take the resources that we provide, then we're going to lock you up. Well, they haven't done anything. If they did something illegal, then of course lock them up. That's not in dispute. Nobody ever tried to argue you shouldn't lock somebody up if they've done something illegal. He's arguing they should be locked up without doing something illegal. They should be locked up just because they're homeless. But it gets worse.
That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
Involuntary lethal injection. Involuntary lethal injection is this dude's solution to homeless problem. Was he fired? Jimmy Kimmel was fired recently. No, Brian Kilmeade was not fired. He's back on air. He's doing his thing as he always did. He apologized, but nothing on Fox News is unintentional, in my opinion. We are in this moment in history in the United States where things are being pushed really, really, really far. And as the propaganda network, as the media arm of the state, Fox News, in my opinion, decided to see how far they could push it. See if people are here yet. And the answer is no, they're not there quite yet. We are in a disturbing moment, and all I can say is we need to keep contemporaneous notes. Lots of people. So that if something happens to ours, they burn up in a fire, or we're arrested, or whatever. Lots of evidence will exist for what they're doing, for what these people are doing. Name them in your notes. Don't let these people get away with this, because a pendulum will swing back. It will. And when it does, these people are going to have a legal price to pay. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. I've heard a lot of people asking, what is a Groyper? A Groyper is basically just a Nick Fuentes fan. This is Nick Fuentes on screen here. It's a right-wing movement, a far-right movement. In fact, they identify as neo-Nazis oftentimes. And Nick Fuentes, is the head Groyper or whatever, believes that Hitler did a lot of heroic things. Their symbol is the little frog here. It started with the Pepe meme. If you've ever seen the Pepe meme, Pepe the frog, that's why they have the frog symbol here. I think this is like a month before the attack took place, and he's going to war, quote unquote, with Donald Trump. Groyper War 2.0 or something is what he calls it. And he's going to war with Trump because he's unhappy with the fact that he's not doing enough deportations. He wants more deportations, more harsh treatment for immigrants than Trump is providing. And he feels like Donald Trump is a corrupt scumbag, which he incidentally got right. But listen to this advertisement for Groyper War 2.
I am declaring a new Groyper war against the Trump campaign until we can figure out what the hell is going on.
That's a Trump quote.
I'm declaring a new Groyper war. You have alienated us. You have ignored us. You don't listen to our concerns.
FYI, this is very obviously political propaganda that's like deeply harmful and may resonate with some people. I want everyone to understand these are neo-Nazis, and if they just came out and gave us our the real beliefs that they really have, nobody would ever give this another thought. Nobody would ever consider supporting anything like this. So before we continue, let me just show you one quick clip that Fuentes said recently, just to contextualize what kind of person this is, and then we'll go back to it.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a f***.
That's the kind of person he is. I have 1,000 of these clips. What he's produced here is called populism. It's a populist message that appeals to a very broad group of people who feel that they've been left out of the political whatever. They've been left behind. And he sticks in little dog whistles, little signals to the groups that he really wants to draw attention to without actually drawing attention to them. If you notice, we've got somebody here wearing a yarmulke, a Jewish hat, locking them out of the political system, implying Jews control the world.
Declaring a new Groyper war. You have alienated us. You have ignored us. You don't listen to our concerns. We have been left behind. The Trump movement and the GOP have moved on without us. It serves Israel and corporations and immigrants, but it doesn't serve Native Americans.
Native Americans being him. He thinks that Aryans are Native Americans, effectively. Like Native American as opposed to immigrant. He thinks that we've been, we being like white Europeans have lived in America for 2,000 years or something. It's like absurd.
What about Native Americans? What about Americans?
This one right here, this Burger King hat, if you notice, this is a meme that was circulating forever ago of a dude that had a Burger King hat on that was screaming the N-word on a plane over and over and over again, if I remember correctly. And it became a challenge. 4chan nutcases would go on a plane and start screaming the N-word randomly wearing a Burger King hat. It was a trend. So this frog, this Groyper on this plane wearing this Burger King hat, they're sending a very specific message, right?
What about Native Americans? What about Americans? What about young white men? But what about us?
I mean, you're seeing the armbands. This is very reminiscent of Nazi Germany. He supports Hitler. He thought Hitler did a lot of good things.
Charlie Kirk is to the right of Trump on immigration. That's unacceptable. So I think it's time for another Groyper war. We're bigger, better, stronger than ever. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Rumble. This is a big live stream every night. We have allies. So I think it's time to up the ante a little bit. And this time, we're going all out. Justice once. And we will bring the energy. I'm done. I'm done playing around. I'm done sitting on the sidelines and complaining. Are you happy? I'm done sitting around and being blamed and accused, complaining about how it's not going well. I'm going to use my leverage. I'm going to do something about it. We have power. It's just a question of whether they want to get on board or get out of the way? That's the question. But
It's just a question of whether they want to get on board or get out of the way. I'm done. I'm done complaining and sitting on the sidelines.
here we will bring, the Groypers will bring the
And you're seeing this too, right? I mean, literally everything in this as political propaganda was placed there for a very specific reason. We have a Jewish guy who actually looks Amish, but okay, that's controlling the world like a puppet master. Those types of things are all through this video.
Groypers will bring the energy, memes, edits, replies.
I'm sorry, we have to take it one step at a time here. So we've got this Jewish puppet master. Next clip is Jews, basically, they're implying they're worshiping Satan, right? Sitting around with their yarmulkes on around a pentagram.
Memes, edits, replies, trolls. Get with us or get the f out of the way. Groyper War 2 coming soon.
Anyway, then he advertises for his Rumble or whatever. But the point is that this is political propaganda that's very, very similar to the type of that far-right authoritarian extremist leaders around the world would release, that the Patriot Front people release. Is very similar to that. And it's the type of that Hitler would have released if he had access to AI tools. God help us. Fuentes is a monstrously evil human being, but he sounds very reasonable in a lot of ways. That's populism. That is populism. It sounds reasonable because they're drawing a line between the weak and the strong, and they're sick of being the weak. They're sick of being downtrodden and taken advantage of. You know, they're in it for the little guy, and 90% of the country identifies as the little guy, so they feel like they're supporting them when they're not. It's all about political power for him. Listen to this dude kind of break down some of the connections between the Groyper movement and the motivations or possible motivations of the Charlie Kirk attacker.
To really understand the far-right brain slop that went into the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we're going to have to understand Groypers. And I apologize in advance, this is going to get very stupid very fast. So most people think that the MAGA movement is the far right of the Republican Party, but in fact they are quite wrong. The far right of the Republican Party is a group known as the Groypers, which is a far-right white nationalist coalition that is effectively a personality cult around a young man named Nick Fuentes.
Right, and he says white nationalist. I feel like there's a distinction to be found between white nationalist and Nazi at this immediate moment. Fuentes is an actual Nazi, not just a white nationalist. I want to make sure that's clear.
Nick's ideology is a mixture of fascism in the vein of Mussolini or Dollfuss, Catholic integralism, or clerical fascism. These are very, very intense and fringe ideological positions. Nick also toys with neo-Nazism and has even quoted himself saying, I am, well, you know, Nick Fuentes.
Wait, what was it? He put it on screen. He said, I'm just like Hitler. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well,
February 2022. I don't think I've heard that one, but yeah. I mean, he says that kind of thing all the time, so.
You know, Nick Fuentes' goal is to...
Isn't he technically not white? You're correct. He's 1/4 Mexican. His grandfather, I think, was Mexican. Fuentes is a Mexican name. So, yeah. But that doesn't stop him, I guess.
Fuentes' goal is to work within the system to push the Republican Party even further to the far right. For him, MAGA is liberalism. And for Nick Fuentes, his biggest rival was Charlie Kirk. There have been what are called Groyper Wars, literally 2 separate Groyper Wars. And you need to understand, when I'm saying that the Groypers are a cult, he even has Groyper generals organized in a paramilitary fashion. Because Charlie Kirk had a massive organization, even back in 2019 when the first Groyper War starts, of 400 chapters at universities across the United States. This meant that Nick saw Charlie as the main person to be taking down so that he would be able to influence young people in the Republican Party more.
Right. So Nick Fuentes started criticizing Charlie Kirk heavily because he said he did not represent the people, if you will. and that he represented the big interests as evidenced by his quote unquote support of Israel or whatever. This is not black and white. Everything that I'm saying right now, like everything that I just quoted Nick is saying, is way more nuanced than Nick wants it to seem. But that's how he frames it up very intentionally. So he wanted to take out Charlie Kirk, probably not literally, not through these means, if I had to guess. But he wanted to remove Charlie Kirk, or dethrone him, I guess, so that he could fill that power vacuum. And he just may now.
And more importantly, he also understood he could use Charlie's events to push his own positions and also carve off people into his own movement. This included a tactic known as question and answer trolling, where he'd have his Groypers go up and line up one after another and ask increasingly extreme questions to Charlie Kirk to make him seem like a moderate in their eyes.
Isn't that interesting? He had people go there and harass Charlie Kirk at his events. Somebody asks, has Nick Fuentes been quiet since the attack? And the answer is no. He's actually responded a lot. Here's one thing he said. Left is now shamelessly trying to blame the right for the murder of Charlie Kirk, which they've been openly celebrating and justifying for days. He's identifying himself with the right. I'm not the enemy. They are the enemy. They have no charity, no love, or humanity for any of us or our families. We must take power for our own survival. We win or we die. He's turning it on the left and trying to inflame tensions and make things worse and more disturbing.
Keep in mind, Charlie Kirk has some incredibly extreme views of his own, but you have to understand there are many different tendencies within the far right. And I need to stress that Nick's views are incredibly misogynistic and also incredibly anti-Semitic. This is
right. Just to read what he put up on screen. Quote, I'm not making overtures to sexist men. I am a sexist man. Here's another. Matt Rinaldi has been defiant amid calls for him to cut ties with political ally Jonathan Stickland after meeting with white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Rinaldi is also accused of embracing anti-Semitic leaders of a new Young Republicans organization. Do you guys remember when Kanye just went off the rails and started doing all that crazy stuff, and Donald Trump invited him to the White House for dinner and all that? He went with Nick Fuentes. Kanye West's ideology is Nick Fuentes' ideology. They came from the same place.
Semitic. This is one of the main reasons he was against Charlie Kirk, which is because Charlie Kirk was not anti-Israel. And Nick Fuentes' anti-Israel advocacy is something that he was able to carve into getting a lot more of a mainstream audience after October 7th. Because Nick Fuentes is smart enough to know that if he puts out a certain level of comms that is not overtly super far right, then he can get followers based on that. Meaning he was using Palestinian suffering to grow his white nationalist movement.
Right, like he doesn't care about Palestinians, never did. In fact, he hates Muslims, and he hates Jews, and, you know, any group that's not white and Christian and male, effectively. He is using suffering to his advantage.
The Groypers are driven by memes, as we can see in the engraving in the bullets shot and not shot at Charlie Kirk.
Right, the engravings, according to the Utah governor, supposedly were notices bulges, oh whoa, what's this? That is a Groyper meme. Hey fascist, catch. Another Groyper meme. Up arrow, right arrow, 3 down arrows. That's from Helldiver 2, I think. It's the big bomb drop. Oh, Bella Chow, chow, chow. That's a Groyper meme. They were making fun of people fighting fascism in Italy, which is where that song is from. If you read this, you are gay, Lamau. This is all Groyper stuff. So I don't know what the shooter is going to turn out to be. I don't know if he's going to turn out to be, you know, a left-winger or had a political whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know that he is aware of Nick Fuentes and his movement, and aware enough of it that he is aware of the memes, the internal memes that these people use.
We see 4 different memes here, many of them from video games. For example, the one that was shot at Charlie Kirk references a meme that's against furries.
Yeah, so this is an anti-furry meme. Hee, you're cute. Flops beside you and nuzzles. Aw, nuzzles you back and pounces on you and notices your bulge. Oh, what's this? It's just kind of making a joke that trans people and or furries are weird and creepy and all that. So it was a transphobic meme. A hateful, vile, transphobic meme. It would surprise me if this person was not transphobic as it gets based on the things that he put on the casings.
A second engraving that's a reference to the very popular game Helldivers, which is actually a satire against fascism. Third, that is a reference to a streamer that sings opera as he's playing first-person shooters and going after people. Or it could be related to one of two Spotify playlists for the Groyper Wars, which both feature a remix version of Bella Ciao. The fourth is just a...
That's really interesting, right? Things starting to kind of fall into place. Groyper, everything about what the attacker did was all based on Groyper memes. It could not possibly be clearer. The dude, at the very bare minimum, knew who Nick Fuentes was and was involved enough in his community to know his internal memes.
Fourth is just a basic internet troll. If you read this, you're gay. Now, recently, the Groypers have both declared war on Charlie Kirk last year and also more recently on Trump and MAGA as a general thing. So what we are seeing right here is right-on-right crime. And whether this guy is an actual Groyper or just adjacent to the movement, he's obviously evoking these memes for that purpose. We have to understand that far-right shooter after far-right shooter have used memes to present themselves to the other people in their movement across the internet. And Nick is not a pariah. He has his own think tank. He runs his own major conference. People in the...
Yeah, a major conference that Marjorie Taylor Greene attended. She went to Nick Fuentes' conference and spoke there. Nick Fuentes is the leader of the America First political party. There's a party called America First. And it started out originally in the 1940s or 30s as effectively a pro-Nazi party. Their whole thing was isolationism. Don't get involved in World War II. We don't want anything to do with it. A lot like you see now. Don't get involved in Ukraine. We shouldn't be spending money in Ukraine, right? Why? What purpose does that serve? Ultimately, it serves the purpose of helping Russia win. It was the same in the 30s and the 40s with the America First Party. They held rallies with giant swastikas and stuff. The America First Party did back then. And Nick Fuentes has picked up that banner once again. Here you go. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene at the conference. This is Nick Fuentes' America First conference.
My name is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I am the daughter of the King, the one true living God, the Alpha, the Omega, our Father in heaven, and I am a forgiven sinner, washed in the blood of our Savior, Jesus Christ.
They're yelling, Christ is King. That's also a Nazi dog whistle created by Groypers intentionally and specifically to filter out people, to filter out Jews. Because saying God bless America or whatever is something most people could get on board with in the US, including Jews, but they can't say Christ is King. It narrows people down, is the point. And here's Nick Fuentes on stage introducing Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We have a new mystery speaker tonight who I'll be announcing to you right now. Very exciting. She is a standard bearer of Trumpism in the U.S. Congress. She is pro-life. She is proudly America First. And I want to say a very special thank you to Milo Yiannopoulos for making this happen. He made this happen.
Dude, they hate each other now, I think. God, there's so much internal drama on the right. Like, Yiannopoulos is mortal enemies with certain people. I think Laura Loomer is mortal enemies with him now. I think Fuentes is a mortal enemy to Laura Loomer. I don't even remember. There's so much hate and divisiveness and anger in these circles.
Put it together. Whoops. That's Milo over there. He's throwing some stuff around.
Anyway, the point is that the Groyper movement, led by Nick Fuentes, is an extremist movement that is to the right of Charlie Kirk and harassed him relentlessly.
People in the Groyper movement work in the White House and for Republican Congress people. This is something that is part of the far-right world and part of normal politics, and this is incredibly dangerous. It's not that long ago that people's careers ended if they were associated with Nick Fuentes, and now they are just walking along the halls. If you're a young right-winger, you know who Nick Fuentes is, either because you're a follower of his and you look up to him, or you're incredibly against him. you have to work around the reality that Nick Fuentes exists. Nick Fuentes and his Groyper movement represent a much darker future, even more than you can ever imagine from the MAGA movement, which is quite extreme in its own extent. But this is a different vein that could possibly occur, and it is something that we have to all understand that is out there, and preying upon the insecurities of young men that Nick Fuentes is able to recruit across the internet. And this is a dangerous thing for everyone, everywhere. Now, all of this culminates in understanding one final thing. This is based around a theory called accelerationism. This is the idea that if you continue to make things worse, you can kick off the great revolutionary change that you want. And
which is absurd. That's not how it works. That's not how it has ever worked. And trust me, if you get there, if you make it to the point where a revolution is possible, your chances of making it through that revolution alive are pretty slim anyway. Accelerationism is the stupidest shit I have ever heard in my life.
For Nick, he wants to create the literal race war, that he can achieve his final battle in the fascistic sense of this, where all of his enemies are destroyed and he gets to reign supreme as the great leader. And that is a real thing that he wants. That is a real thing that his followers believe.
And does this sound familiar at all? Like, what do you think is happening right now since Charlie Kirk died? Tensions are at an absolute boiling point now.
And they are willing to do anything for Nick to make that happen. Thank you for watching. Please do some engagement.
Anyway, yeah, disturbing stuff. But, you know, to put a cap on this, to be perfectly honest with you, there are conspiracy theories flying all over the place on the left. It's wild to see. The left has a conspiracy theory problem, seriously. The idea that Charlie Kirk isn't dead even, like he's secretly alive, is a conspiracy that I've seen. The conspiracy that he was secretly taken out by Donald Trump is his big elaborate plan. The conspiracy that Donald Trump was not actually attacked in Butler, Pennsylvania, it's absurd. It's all absurd. I'm sorry, man. We're going to have to address this before we can move forward as a movement on the left. This conspiracy problem. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. This is Nick Fuentes. You may have heard his name in the news recently because it appears as though the Charlie Kirk attacker was a Nick Fuentes fan. We're still waiting to find out information and everything else, but it appears that way at this moment. So let's talk about who Nick Fuentes is and what he believes and what a Groyper is exactly. A Groyper is a Nick Fuentes fan, and I've talked about this guy a lot on my channel. Fascinatingly, he is opposed to Donald Trump at this moment. His belief system generally revolves around neo-Nazi ideology. Just listen to this example of his beliefs.
A new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a
That's who Nick Fuentes is. That's the kind of person he is. Right now, he is upset with Donald Trump because he feels that Trump is corrupt, as he obviously is, and takes advantage of people, and he's a dummy. He thinks Trump is a dummy. And again, he's right about that, obviously. But he's also upset that Donald Trump is not doing the degree of mass deportations that he wanted and expected when he took power. Now, Fuentes did vote for Donald Trump all 3 times, 2016, 2020, 2024. But he recently said that he's ready to burn his MAGA hat. He is sick of it. And he's not happy with Charlie Kirk either, which explains why a Nick Fuentes fan, if indeed this attacker would go after somebody like Charlie Kirk.
Someone like Charlie Kirk. And it just goes to show, by the way, Charlie Kirk, who a week ago said, I'm doing a focus group.
By the way, this is from, I believe, a month before Charlie Kirk died.
I'm open to a contrary opinion on Israel and Palestine. He's now doing damage control on their behalf. And one has to wonder, is he being paid by Israel?
As a Nazi, Nick Fuentes fucking hates Jews and Israel, and that doesn't equate to being pro-Palestine. In practice, he pretends to be pro-Palestine, but he fucking hates Muslims too, and anybody that's not white. Don't let the way that he frames things kind of fool you. He's a full-blown Nazi and was upset with Charlie Kirk because he, to some degree, supported Israel. That's the point.
Without a doubt, the answer is yes. For Charlie Kirk to go on his show today and say, there is no forced starvation, here comes a rabbi to tell us why, without a shadow of a doubt, he is being paid by them. That is why he is doing damage control on their behalf, because he is on their payroll. And someone who is on the payroll of a foreign state making excuses for war crimes.
Like, I don't see any reason to think that Charlie Kirk was being paid by Israel. It doesn't make any sense that he wouldn't need to be paid by Israel, right? Another conspiracy theory flying around at this moment is that Charlie Kirk was attacked by Israel. That's floating around in neo-Nazi circles, like Nick Fuentes, like Stu Peters and others. They believe that Israel is responsible. I mean, it's conspiracy land all the way down right now. It's wild.
It's not somebody that you can trust on anything. That's not somebody that you can take the good with the bad. How can anybody take him seriously as a Christian? How can you go up there and pretend to be a godly man? Why? Because you tell people to get married?
Fuentes is a Catholic.
Oh, look, I have my kid. You know, he posted the other day, he's on Fox and Friends, and his daughter runs up and jumps into his lap. And we're supposed to look at this carefully manicured public relations material and say, aw, what a family man. What a good Christian. He's practically a pastor, the way he evangelizes the young. Well, it's a good thing Charlie Kirk's daughter doesn't live in Gaza, because his daughter would have been fucking murdered.
Again, like, Nick Fuentes isn't saying these things because he cares about Palestinians. He doesn't. He's saying it because he fucking hates Jews. Remember.
It's a good thing Charlie Kirk's daughter was born to a rich man in America who lies for a living and is paid by billionaires to do it, and wasn't born in Gaza. Because if Charlie Kirk, the family man, if him and his family were over there, if they were born in the wrong place at the wrong time, they would be getting shot in the back of the head for trying to get food and water while they were starving to death by the Israelis that they defend. And that's disgusting.
The point is that Nick Fuentes was directly opposed to Charlie Kirk, like a month before all of this happened. You know, people don't understand, like, why would somebody on the right hit Charlie Kirk? Here's a pretty good reason. And you know another good reason? Catalyzing events like this spark intense public backlash. Like, look what happened on 9/11 when the terrorists attacked the World Trade Centers. Do you know why Osama bin Laden did that? He wrote a letter to America that I read on this channel, the whole letter, beginning to end. It's on here if you want to watch. I should cover it again because I have more context, more cultural context today than I did then. The reason he did it is because of the United States' support for Israel. I would be willing to bet you didn't know that. I didn't know that until I read the letter, and I lived through 9/11. I was like a little kid. The reasoning gets lost when an intense catalyzing event happens like that. Nobody cares anymore. All they care about is killing their enemy. And George Bush directed that anger and that ire and resentment and hatred into Iraq, who had nothing to do with 9/11. A good reason for a Nick Fuentes fan to do this, aside from not liking Charlie Kirk, would be to spark a race war. It doesn't matter who did it in the end. Left-wingers are going to be blamed for this, one way or another. Charles Manson, you remember him? Cult leader, led like 9 people or whatever to take out Roman Polanski's whole family. Do you know why he did that? To spark a race war. Pearl Harbor was an attack on the United States by Japan, which brought us into World War II. Do you know why they did that? There is a clear-cut answer, but most people don't know the answer. It's because we were basically strangling their fuel supply, and they had to either go to war with the United States or with Russia to try to get more fuel, effectively. We were strangling their energy sector. The point is that these groups, especially extremist groups like Fuentes fans, Groypers, as they call themselves, do like this intentionally. They will intentionally go out there and agitate, do something psychotic, like take somebody out to spark a race war.
Especially disgusting in light of what he'll defend. Oh, look, his daughter's in the studio. She runs, oh, daddy. She runs up and jumps onto his lap. And then 2 days later, he goes on his show and says, they're babies. Babies are being starved to death. Well, Hamas is stealing the aid. They deserve it. It's collective guilt. They support Hamas. Release the hostages. It's sick. It's disgusting. And people need to push harder. We need to push for more. It's not good enough. Donald Trump throwing a little throwaway statement. Oh, we need to get more food in there. Charlie Kirk saying, oh, I'll hear you out in Israel, but I'll basically do propaganda on their behalf. It's not good enough. You got to go, dude. You got to go.
A month before the attack.
It's not good enough. You got to go, dude. You got to go. What has to happen with Charlie Kirk is one of two things. One, he needs to recant his support for Israel. Not I'm going to hear everybody out. You're not an anti-Semite. No, you need to come out and say, I took foreign money. I shilled for a foreign country and I won't anymore. That's what we need to hear. That's option one.
Like, again, I don't even know that Charlie Kirk shilled for a foreign country. I think he was probably towing the party line, but okay, whatever.
You can't take money from a foreign government and lie on their behalf and then say, oh, well, I'm just not going to be as aggressive anymore against and calling people anti-Semites and things like that. No, you need disclosure. You need accountability. Or two, you need to leave the stage. People cannot listen to somebody that they cannot trust. In particular, cannot trust that they're not taking money from a foreign government. You can't have it that way. Can't call yourself Turning Point USA. I'm an ally of the president. We're waving the flag for the young people and do the rest. So that's the situation in Gaza. It's horrible. And we pray for the people in Gaza.
Like, he doesn't care about Gaza. Couldn't possibly care less. Literally impossible. Anyway, the point is that's the motivation. If this guy is indeed a Groyper, that would be one possible motivation for doing something like this. Doesn't like Charlie Kirk, but he's a very influential figure, and in his death could be considered a martyr. Could spark a race war or something like that. After everything started coming out about the guy, Fuentes tweeted this: the left is now shamelessly trying to blame the right for the murder of Charlie Kirk, which they've been openly celebrating and justifying for days. They have no charity, love, or humanity for any of us or our families. We must take power for our own survival. We win or we die. This is yet another example of a right-wing figure using language that will directly lead to pogroms. And here's another example of the MAGA movement it's the MAGA movement, but it's further right than Charlie Kirk, basically disliking what Charlie Kirk is doing and criticizing him from the right. This is Laura Loomer. I don't ever want to hear Charlie Kirk claim he's pro-Trump ever again. But this is about a month before he died. After this weekend, I'd say he's revealed himself as political opportunist, and I have had a front row seat to witness the mental gymnastics these last 10 years. Lately, Charlie's decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next. TPUSA was only able to thrive thanks to the generosity of President Trump. On the one-year anniversary of the assassination attempt on Trump's life, Charlie hosted comic Dave Smith at TPUSA's SAS conference, where Dave Smith was able to speak to a bunch of conservative youth at an organization that claims to be pro-Trump. 3 weeks ago, Dave Smith called for Trump to be impeached and removed from office over his decision to blow up Iran's nuclear facilities. Charlie played both sides of the Iran issue on his show, as we all saw, because he wants to play both sides of the aisle. The honorable thing to do is to have a position and actually defend it to the death instead of flip-flopping. Smith said all of MAGA should turn on Trump and abandon him. He said this 3 weeks ago. See the clip below. TPUSA is definitely not pro-Trump. If they were, they certainly aren't anymore. Anyway, the point is that there are very easily explainable reasons why the Charlie Kirk attacker very plausibly could have been a Groyper, a Nick Fuentes fan. Could have been to the right of to the right of Donald Trump. It's hard to be to the right of Fuentes. Could have been to the right of Donald Trump and or Charlie Kirk and done this for his own political reasons. It's not surprising. It would not be surprising to me. Like, we don't know enough at this immediate moment to say for sure, but it seems pretty clear to me that he was most likely a right-wing extremist, a Groyper. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments, and keep a lookout for more stuff on Nick Fuentes. I'm releasing a video tomorrow, may already be out, about Nick Fuentes's Groyper movement in more detail. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. I don't know if you guys know Kevin Sorbo, probably, right? He's a famous anti-atheist nutter butter of epic proportions, to put it nicely. His son is now a little bit older and is stepping into the role of podcaster and using his dad's kind of position and leverage to get out there and meet some famous people. Listen to the psychotic stuff that his son is spreading. I think this is Braden Sorbo.
I know more young women today who say they wish they didn't ever get the right to vote than I've ever talked to in my life, right? They go back.
I bet. Lots of women say they don't want to be able to vote. Totally. Take away my rights, please.
And they go, well, if I never had this, then everything throughout the history with abortion and feminism and all of these things wouldn't have taken place. And so I would much rather give up my one right to vote if it meant 10,000 liberal women wouldn't be allowed to vote so that we could return our country to a better place. Because what we have to realize is women controlled the house, which means they controlled the vote of their husbands.
By a better place, he means where women don't have any say in anything. He means like the 1940s, basically.
I mean, women got the right to vote in the United States and in Germany the same year, interestingly enough. Did you know?
I didn't know that, no.
1919, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When the Weimar Republic was formed, basically after World War I.
He wants to go back to the 1900s then.
And in 1974, I think, women were finally allowed to have a credit card in their own name and get a mortgage and loans and things like that. I mean, women's rights really are not that old, honestly. But
they're
anyway.
older than I thought they were.
Really?
Yeah. Because when I think of like, I don't know, when I think of like 1940s and 50s, I think of no one has any rights unless you're a white man.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, this dude is completely just got, like, his brain is just gone. Like, he has no idea what's going on. He lives in this weird little bubble created for him by his mom and his dad and doesn't seem to have any connection to reality whatsoever. Wow. Did I just whistle when I said that?
Yeah, you did.
That was an insane whistle.
That was impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And so that true dynamic was one vote for the entire household.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, step back a little bit, because he's saying that women traditionally controlled the household vote. And it was better for women before they could vote, because then they could force their husband to vote the way they wanted. What?
Women controlled the house, which means they controlled the vote of their husbands. And so that true dynamic was one vote for the entire household that was pretty much dictated by the wife.
What? I don't understand.
Right? So the husband, who was tasked with taking care of and being responsible for his entire family, used the singular vote.
Okay, I think he's mixing up the definition of male and female, or man and woman.
Why do you say that?
Because generally speaking, women don't control the house, and women were expected to take care of the entire family. The man was expected to buy stuff.
I think the wife is expected to make the purchases and maintain the house, but the man is expected to work.
Yeah, he's expected to pay for everything, but
right.
He's like...
I think you're assuming good faith when this dude just lives in this world of complete delusion.
No, I'm assuming he's mixing up his definitions on purpose.
Let's just step back for a second and see, because maybe I'm mistaken.
Means they controlled the vote of their husbands. And so that true dynamic was one vote for the entire household that was pretty much dictated by the wife. Right? So the husband, who was tasked with taking care of and being responsible for his entire family, used the singular vote he had for his household to make sure that they were protected, to make...
Yeah, I'm getting the impression that he's saying that the man was expected to pay for things and take care of the family, and the wife got to basically force him to vote the way that she wanted him to.
Yeah, it's the way he's saying take care of the family, because they weren't expected to take care of the family aside from paying for stuff. It was the wife's expected to, you know, cook, buy things, buy groceries, clean the house, take care of the kids, get the kids to and from wherever. Right. So, yeah.
Well, who knows? I can say for sure that he lives in a complete delusion if he thinks that society is ever going to go back to that. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. That's not how societies evolve and change and grow.
Sure that they were provided for. And what we did was we tricked thousands and thousands and thousands of people into thinking that that was oppression. and we're reaping what we sow. I mean, you can look.
Literally had fewer rights at the time than they do now. And he says that that they're more oppressed today because they have more rights. This dude, I gotta hand it to him, man. He knows how to twist things into a pretzel like the best of them.
That was oppression. And we're reaping what we sow. I mean, you can look at everything that's going on, not even just in America, but in the West today. And we could see the decline, the moral degradation, and the societal downfall that is taking place. And we can go, this is bad objectively.
Wow.
Totally, yes. Women being able to vote is what led to societal downfall. Right, absolutely. Not ICE patrols going into cities, not MAGA nutcases being completely out of their heads. None of that, you see. It's people having extra rights, or people having rights in the first place that everyone else has. Equality, yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Braden, are you saying women shouldn't have the right to vote?
Yes.
God, it's embarrassing. So let's talk about Kevin Sorbo and Sam Sorbo, his wife, a little bit.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Sam actually talked about Braden a little bit and what he was up to when he was little. Check this out. This is from the Reawaken America tour. This is a QAnon tour, basically, from 2021, early December.
But I pulled my son out of school in second grade because they weren't educating him. They were training him a little.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's hard to hear. She pulled Braden out of school in second grade because they weren't educating him, they were training him, okay?
It wasn't going well, and I started to question, what was the final result going to be?
Somebody who could do math, maybe? I would hope.
He was learning how to be a bully.
I promise that was not the school teaching him that. That was probably you teaching him that.
Because let's face it, in school, they teach you evolution. What is evolution? Survival of the fittest. And what is that? That's bullying.
I'm sorry, what? It's bullying. Understanding evolution turns you into a bully, is what she's saying. Evolution is not survival of the fittest. Evolution, as a concept, can be described in part by the term survival of the fittest, but really, that's not even an accurate description of evolution. It's not survival of the fittest because the fittest implies strength, right? It's survival of those best suited to their environment. It has nothing to do with strength at all.
If I pass on my eye color to my children and my children survive better than someone with a different eye color because our eyes can see better in whatever environment, that's bullying.
Yeah.
And it's evil and wrong.
Eye color spread because it was unique and interesting and beautiful, I think. So people were more likely to procreate with those who had blue or whatever because it was different.
Also, lighter features suited the mountainous areas better.
Right.
So it made it easier to, one, blend in, two, see, whatever else. So a little bit of both.
This woman just lives in a complete delusion. This is what this kid, Braden, grew up in. He had her for a parent. So things should kind of make sense, right?
Christians have no business sending their children to public school.
Yeah, her whole thing is like homeschooling. She wants to homeschool, she wants, everybody should be homeschooling. I mean, it's psychotic. And this is Kevin. In a second, I'm going to play this video, this cameo that I purchased from Kevin Sorbo, addressed to Owen.
Owen, buddy, how you doing? It's Kevin Sorbo. Fresh.
We'll get there. Just stick around for a second. This is Kevin Sorbo talking about atheists, evil, hateful atheists.
These people look in the mirror every day and hate what they see. These are angry, angry people. These are people that have...
Me? I'm angry?
Yeah, and you hate what you see when you look in the mirror.
These are people that have no hope in their lives. They probably don't work. They probably collect unemployment from your dollars and my dollars.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Tell me you don't understand how unemployment works without saying it. Unemployment is not a government program. It's a government requirement that companies pay into it and that companies collect unemployment from employees, but it's an insurance that is managed by the companies, and the government basically regulates who gets unemployment. So if you're getting unemployment, it's based on how much money you have earned in your life. It's an insurance. So just complete delusion. You can't get unemployment insurance unless you were once employed. But okay.
They hate when you're a self-hating, woke, atheist, unemployed person. I had to think of the list.
Absolutely insane.
From your dollars and my dollars.
That's how taxes work. That is not how unemployment works. But okay.
They probably get paid by George Soros as well. But these are people that really...
Well, wait, isn't that a job? Aren't they working if they're being paid by George Soros?
Have so much disappointment that their lives didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. These trolls are people that just have nothing but anger and hatred. They live in this black hole. They want to suck all of us down that black hole.
You're one to talk.
With them by attacking you, attacking me.
Well, like you
Yeah, black hole. Super sad. Absolutely.
said something really powerful a while ago, and I was going to point it out, so I'm glad it just got brought back up. But you said something to the effect of, why do you get so angry about something you don't believe in?
Yeah.
That's powerful.
That's powerful. Oh my God, that was so deep. I've never in my 15 years of being an atheist, maybe, or give or take, never have I ever heard something so deep. That's powerful. How can you hate something that doesn't exist? Wow. She just knocked me out with that analogy.
You know what? I'm Christian now. Actually,
Yeah.
guys, I'm
Right.
Christian. I'm starting my own church.
I don't hate God. I don't believe he's real. You know what I do hate? Self-indignant, self-righteous scumbags who can't help but talk about how persecuted they are because they're Christians or whatever. I can't stand that. One more time. Just listen to what you said here.
A while ago, and I was going to point it out, so I'm glad it just got brought back up. But you said something to the effect of, why do you get so angry about something you don't believe in?
Personally, I'm angry that Jehovah's Witnesses robbed me of all of that time in my life that I could have spent having a good time, living, experiencing things, just being a normal human being. They robbed me of a normal personality. Like I grew up odd. Okay, I grew up completely isolated from society because I wasn't allowed to have non-Jehovah's Witness friends. And I grew up around two bipolar people as my only points of contact with the world, my only 2 points of human contact. That messed me up. I'm angry about that. I couldn't possibly care less about like your God or whatever, or religious people who aren't nutcases. I don't care. Like they fundamentally misunderstand the problem.
Why do you get so angry about something you don't believe in?
Yeah.
That's powerful, and it's true. And I think it's because they do believe in something. They may be angry because they were sexually abused, or they were physically abused, or they
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That's me.
Where did that come from?
She's just a scumbag. For the record, that never happened to me. That is not the source of my complaint with religion. You're just making things up, and it's honestly disgusting.
didn't feel love, or they felt rejection, and maybe they turned away from God and the idea of God because of that. But there's definitely something inside of them that feels anger towards something.
Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses for robbing time from me.
Yeah. Well, these are people who failed. They failed in their lives and they gave up.
I don't know. So like I'm literally working and making money while critiquing this. So simply factually incorrect. Anyway, so you guys sat through all of that with me. So let's watch the cameo. He did a good job on the cameo, to be perfectly frank with you. He gave 3-minute cameo almost. He didn't have to do 3 minutes. I think I paid for 1 minute and he did a whole 3 minutes, and he even fit some stuff in there. I asked him to fit in disappointed somewhere. Do you know that meme?
No.
The disappointed meme? Do you know who this guy is?
Vaguely.
He was on a TV show called Hercules back in the 90s or 2000s. And it was a pretty popular show. And there was a spinoff called Xena Warrior Princess that was even more popular. Anyway.
I do know that one. I don't like that one.
Okay, well, I watched both of them when I was little. But famously, there's this scene from Hercules. Here, this is it right here. He just jumped out of a portal or something.
This isn't my world. Disappointed!
And yeah, that's the entirety of the clip. And it's like, I don't understand. Why did he just yell disappointed randomly?
Because he's disappointed and he wants the world to know.
Well, he succeeded.
What's he
Anyway.
disappointed about?
Right. Well, people speculated like maybe that was in the script, like in brackets, or maybe it was supposed to be in brackets, like you feel disappointed, and you weren't supposed to read that, but he read it anyway without actually processing what the script said. Who knows? We'll never know. But it is a meme eternally now. And I specifically asked him to use the term disappointed in this. So sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult. And you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, how you doing? It's Kevin Sorbo, fresh off the golf course. I just got back home.
Oh, yeah, and I told him that I was being harassed by wokies on the twit.
And got this cameo. And it says it's from Anonymous. Anyway, I'm here.
Yeah, I said it's from Anonymous for Owen. We care so much about him. He's having a hard time dealing with the wokies on the twit. And we just wanted to give him some encouragement. So
A chat to you, Owen. I understand you're dealing with the radical left on the Twitter. You know what? I post stuff. I mean, you see my stuff. If you go to K-Sorbs, they just go after me. These guys.
Okay, subtle plug there.
You got to know, these guys are very unhappy people. Seriously, I'm not just saying. These people do not like who they are. They don't. I imagine
hit the nail on the head. Absolutely.
Most of them do not have a job.
Most of them don't have a job.
Yeah, we're jobless. It's
apparently 90% of the United States doesn't have a job in this dude's mind. Like nobody has a job except for him and like the people that he likes. That's it.
Him and 3 others.
And he doesn't even have a job, which is funny.
I imagine most of them probably still live at home with their mom in the basement. I imagine most of them probably grew up in a broken family.
God, living alone with your mom in her basement sounds terrible for you.
Yeah, it would be awful, actually.
And maybe they're working for, George Soros and collecting unemployment from your tax dollars and mine.
Same tune, right?
They are doing that for you, yeah.
And it's sad. It really is sad. Their anger towards me does nothing. I could care less. Don't let them get to you. But honest to God, you want to go after them just for sport and have fun, go for it. Because
that's encouraging.
The stuff they say is just so idiotic. These are uneducated people. They're ignorant.
I'm so sorry. When they're attacking you, they're uneducated, unemployed, living in their mom's basement, evil, and don't know any, and they hate themselves. But if you want to attack them, you should do that. You should attack them for sport.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say is just so idiotic. These are uneducated people. They're ignorant people. They have no idea what they have here. And honest to God, if they want the utopia, then please, by all means. I honestly think our government, not only we need to get rid of all the illegal aliens here.
This is from, this is 2023. This is March 14th.
Oh, you did this a while ago.
I did, yeah, years ago.
They should go to North Korea. They should go to Venezuela. They should go to Russia. They should go to Cuba. Nope.
Why would I go to any of those places?
North Korea?
Yeah.
They don't want me there.
North Korea is a democratic republic, quote unquote, so on paper. And he's pointing to that and saying, you want democracy? Go to North Korea. Like, I'm not a communist. I don't use the term socialist because it has a different meaning to people than I actually intend. But I guess in the technical sense, you could call me that. But most people aren't using the technical sense. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, one could call me a capitalist in our common, colloquial understanding of it or whatever. But in his mind, everybody that he hates is a communist. And communism and socialism are identical in his mind.
It takes boats from Key West to Cuba. So how do these people possibly think communism and socialism is good? Those things killed well over 100 million people, maybe 120 million.
Well, not for nothing, but you know how many people Nazism killed? And you're taking part in that now, right? He is propping up the Nazi movement in the United States. Now, he is one of... it's like the right-wing movement is split into 2 factions at the moment. There's the Groypers / Nick Fuentes / alt-right / Nazi movement who hates Israel because it has Jews in it, and it's psychotic. And then there's the Christian nationalist / Zionist wing that loves Israel because they think Jesus is going to return there in Israel. And Sorbo fell on the side of the Nazi kind of movement for the most part, bizarrely. Although he does, I think, support Israel in some ways. I mean, his beliefs are complicated, but either way you look at it, the dude supports a Nazi regime, right? Is that fair to say? I think so.
In the last century, it was 80 million alone just from Stalin and Hitler, for crying out loud.
Oh, Hitler was a communist. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Hitler's a communist? Really? Pure, unadulterated delusion.
Just keep fighting the good fight, man. I got a number of movies out there. One just came out in theaters. It's done now. It's called Left Behind.
Oh boy, now we got more plugging this stupid stuff.
Leftbehindmovie.com. I directed that one as well. And Miracle in East Texas comes out later. And I love that you love God's Not Dead. You need to check out What If.
I told him I loved God's Not Dead.
Abel's Field. Let There Be Light, another one I directed.
Thank God I know what not to watch now.
Yeah.
And my documentaries, some good documentaries are Before the Wrath and Against the Tide, okay? Actually, go to sorbostudios.com.
You know, he gave me a decent cameo that was 3 minutes long. I'll let him get his stupid little plug in.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to order them. You get signed autograph. sorbostudios.com. Just check it out. But God's Not Dead was a blessing for me. I love doing it. What If, I think, is even better movie. Same writers. And if you don't do it, I'm going to be very disappointed.
He did it. There's the thing.
Okay, I'm not going to yell. But good luck with your YouTube channel. Hope you have great success with that, and more to come, bud. All right, take care. Ciao.
Anyway, wow, what a metal fucking thing to say to get off of air, right? Ciao. Wow, dude. Got to love Kevin Sorbo. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I'm definitely going to be watching Braden Sorbo's content in the near future, see what he's up to. Definitely going to be interesting. Tell me your thoughts. That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.